Wendigo, the flesh-hungry spirit of the North. Origins and mythology. The Wendigo is one of the most terrifying creatures in North American folklore, particularly among the Algonquian-speaking tribes such as the Cree, Ojibwe, and Innu. The legend of the Wendigo has persisted for centuries, warning of the dangers of greed, hunger, and the supernatural consequences of cannibalism. The word Wendigo, sometimes spelled Wendigo, Wetiko, or Wendigo, is believed to come from the Algonquian languages and is often associated with themes of insatiable hunger and spiritual corruption. The legend is thought to have originated in regions that experience harsh winters, particularly in Canada and the northern United States. During brutal winters, when food was scarce, stories of the Wendigo served as cautionary tales, reminders of what happens when humans resort to desperate and inhumane acts to survive. Transformation and characteristics. According to legend, a Wendigo is created when a human succumbs to the ultimate taboo, cannibalism. Whether out of necessity during famine or driven by sheer malevolence, those who consume human flesh are said to be cursed, their humanity stripped away as they morph into monstrous entities. A Wendigo's appearance is described as horrifying. It is typically depicted as tall and emaciated. Some say it can stand over 15 feet tall, its body grotesquely stretched and skeletal due to its eternal hunger. Hollow, glowing eyes, deep-set, unnatural eyes burn with a terrifying glow, sometimes described as red or yellow. Elongated limbs and claws. Its fingers are long and skeletal, ending in razor-sharp claws that can slice through flesh with ease. Decayed or stretched skin. Some versions describe it as having grayish, mummified skin, while others say its flesh is frozen and cracked like ice. A heart of ice. Many tales describe its core as frozen solid, making it nearly impossible to kill by conventional means. A horrific stench. The Wendigo is said to reek of decay and death, as if its body is perpetually rotting. Some depictions include Wendigos with antlers, a more modern interpretation influenced by European imagery of forest spirits. However, traditional Native American accounts do not typically describe the creature with deer-like features. Powers and abilities. The Wendigo is more than just a monstrous predator. It possesses supernatural abilities that make it a nearly unstoppable force. Superhuman speed and strength. Despite its skeletal frame, the Wendigo can move at inhuman speeds, making it nearly impossible to escape. Mimicry. One of its most terrifying traits is its ability to mimic human voices, calling out in the cries of a lost loved one to lure victims into the forest. Control over cold. Legends claim that the Wendigo can bring extreme cold with it, causing frostbite and freezing its victims in place. Regeneration. Even if wounded, the Wendigo is said to heal rapidly, making it incredibly difficult to kill. Possession. The Wendigo is not always a physical being. It is also believed to be a malevolent spirit that can possess humans, gradually turning them into cannibalistic monsters. The curse of Wendigo psychosis. Beyond the creature itself, the Wendigo legend also ties into real-world psychological horror. Wendigo psychosis is a term used to describe a cultural syndrome among some indigenous groups. It refers to an intense craving for human flesh, despite having access to other food sources. This disorder was documented in historical cases, where individuals in isolated communities exhibited symptoms of paranoia, depression, and eventually, homicidal urges. One of the most famous cases occurred in the 1800s when a Cree man named Swift Runner killed and ate his entire family during a harsh winter, despite having alternative food sources. He later claimed he had been possessed by a Wendigo, and he was executed for his crimes. His story remains one of the most well-documented accounts associated with the Wendigo legend. Defeating a Wendigo. Killing a Wendigo is no easy task. Since it is believed to have a frozen heart, some stories claim that the only way to destroy it is by setting it on fire. Fire is said to melt its icy core and prevent it from regenerating. Other methods mentioned in folklore include shattering its frozen heart and burying the remains deep in the ground to prevent its spirit from returning. However, the Wendigo's supernatural resilience makes it nearly impossible to defeat without great risk. Modern sightings and pop culture influence. The Wendigo legend has transcended Native American folklore and entered popular culture. There have been alleged sightings in Canada and the northern United States, particularly in heavily forested areas. Some urban legends claim that hikers and hunters have gone missing under mysterious circumstances, with eerie howls and unnatural shadows spotted in the distance. The creature has also appeared in numerous films, TV shows, and video games, including Supernatural, featured in the show's first season as a terrifying creature hunting humans in remote forests. Until Dawn, a horror video game where the Wendigo plays a central role in the story. Pet Sematary. Stephen King's novel mentions the Wendigo as a dark force influencing events. The Marvel Universe. The Wendigo appears as a supernatural monster in Marvel Comics. Despite these modern interpretations, the original indigenous stories remain the most haunting. The Wendigo is not just a monster. It is a symbol of human greed, isolation, and the terrifying consequences of breaking taboos. Conclusion: the Wendigo remains one of the most chilling legends in North American folklore. Whether viewed as a literal creature, a cautionary tale, or a metaphor for unchecked hunger and greed, its presence lingers in the dark corners of the wilderness. Some say that even speaking its name can invite misfortune. So, the next time you find yourself alone in the deep woods, listening to the wind howl through the trees, be careful. It might not be the wind you're hearing, but the voice of the Wendigo calling out for its next victim.